Jackie, you gotta go. You think you're slick. You're not getting the rubs all day, Jackies. Oh my goodness. Jackie, you gotta go. Okay? I have a job to do. The people need me. They need me, Jax. I must cover boxing. Okay? This is where I get all my boxing predictions from. This guy right here. I ask him, he tells me, right, Jax? He's a talker. He is a talker. I know, I can't get him to shut up. All right, Jax, go. What's up, fight fans? I hope you can hear me out there clearly. Sorry if that made a noise or anything. So we have a lot to cover and to talk about in today's edition of Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. Thank you for joining me here at Round One Sports Talk. We have a lot to cover. Naoya Inoue, the Japanese fighter, had a lot to say, and I believe that a lot of people took it a certain way. We're gonna get right into that. There's other fighters in the news right now: Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Um, you know, WWE type shit. You know what I mean? Um, but it's something we're gonna cover. We're gonna get into all of that. Okay, so as of right now, thank you for joining me here at Round One Sports Talk, and we are going to start to let's kick this show off. Listen, what can I say? Naoya Inoue, the Japanese superstar, went on social media and typed in a statement. I believe that a lot of people read into what he said and they took it and they took certain sections and they just like ran with it, right? Um, he didn't say anything crazy. He said that his performance with Stephen Kubo Fulton, he believes he executed it and he can see what he was thinking before you know, so he's telling you that's how skilled his ring IQ is, right? Then he said, I'm not sure. Key word here is that he didn't say for certain, but he specified that Stephen Kubo Fulton, in fact, did not like getting punched in the face. He didn't like to take chances. You see? And the thing is, by making such a statement like that, he's also allowing you to know that's why he, in fact, gets hit sometimes because he goes in to take chances. At the same time, the Japanese superstar made that statement and also answered something about himself. He got to express his Japanese warrior way, and that's why he goes in. So when someone like that makes a statement, a boxer makes a statement, you're automatically going to look and view, well, what are you doing? Right? And then you can say, yeah, he does take chances. He does go in. You see? So I took it like that. Okay? As far as him saying, I'm not sure if all the American fighters, well, then he's not sure. He just said it right in the line. He's not sure. He didn't say definitively this is how they all are. He didn't say any of that. And somehow everybody took that and said, "No, shots fired. He said this about American fighters. He said that we're all sweet." No, they're trying to paint him like the bad guy, like the villain. I see where they're going with this. Look, if you can't beat him in the ring, try to discredit his name. I see. This is all different kinds of ploys, different kinds of fights that are being fought on different kind of playing fields in the battlefield here. And Naoya Inoue is going to get criticized for anything he does. You see? Look, he didn't say anything wrong, right? And the way they're going to sell it to you is they're going to go, "Oh, I agree to a certain extent, and he should be competitively saying this against American dudes." That's how they're going to sell it to you. They're going to try to feed it first to you like it was a good thing, and then they're going to bash him on the tail end of it and make him sound like the villain. Like he just said something directly to all American fighters when he never even said anything about any American fighter but one, even Kubo Fulton. He was giving you his assessment of what he saw and felt in the ring versus that guy. He clearly said, "I'm not sure if they're all," and that's how he did it. So, you know, I don't know. I don't I don't get how they're like, you know, no, I understand what they're doing. I get it. I get it how they're, how this is all coming about. Yes, I do. But the things that they're saying, he didn't say any of those things. Not one of those things. He didn't say any of that shit. But they painting him out to be like that. So
It all starts somewhere. From the crowd control.
sorry about that, guys. He didn't say any of those things. I just had to make sure you guys could hear me, and I was checking in with your chats. What's up, everybody out there today? How y'all doing? Yo, can we get some likes up on the channel? And I want to know your reactions too. What do you guys think about what was said, and how do you feel like they're taking what he said out of content, or are you taking it also personal like that? Because I didn't feel like he said anything wrong, and he didn't specify all American fighters. I reintegrate that he was just talking about one fighter, you see, and he said, "I'm not sure if they're like this." He hasn't fought many of them, but when he does get his opportunity, it's this how they're going to be. You see, let's not also forget that we're also talking about killer here, a very highly skilled fighter that's in a sport where he is merited and awarded by punching you in his face. Cocky, arrogant. I think you're going to have a little bit of that, you know, believe that you're the best. You should, okay? So, and also stick up for your own side. I believe we all should do that. You understand? So, this is a competitive sport. But as far as the way they're taking it, the way they're building it, it doesn't matter. You see, because in this case right here, the Japanese superstar is only leading the way by his skills. He has truly been showing that his skills are up there. Okay. And if you could retire well, you can really go down in history as probably in the conversation as one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, to lace a pair up, depending how he retires, what he does on the tail end. Because of as of right now, this is the peak. This is the peak. How high he can take it, we're gonna find out with each fight. How far he can take this. Okay. His next opponent, Luis Pantera Nares, you guys know, that he's a gamer, he's a fighter. You know, he's gonna come to fight. That I can tell you that much. Um, and it's a good weight for him. It's a good weight for him. I believe he should make weight. I don't, I think he makes way here good. With his history though. And this is why because some of these things have to be addressed. Okay, he has been known to miss weight. right? And I need to remind you that if he does not make weight, he doesn't qualify to win the belts. So even if he was to miss weight and then like miraculously beat the Japanese superstar, he won't win the belts. So he has to make weight. And that's important because I'm sure if you're going to take this fight right here and you're going to be given this opportunity, you don't want to miss on the fact that you can win 4 belts. You see? He missed belt. And in fact, the reason why I said all of that to say this is because, in fact, when he came in that fight against the Japanese other superstar, and he forfeited his title on the scale. And you see, so I don't, I think in this situation he's gonna make the weight. You know, and speaking of that, and that fight right there in particular, um, look, Luis Nares, I don't count him out. I give him a puncher's chance. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of his style coming into a fight against a fighter like the Japanese superstar. Had it been anyone else, I was okay with Pantera style. It seemed to have gotten him where he is at in his career. So you cannot deny one, he doesn't have skill. The man has skill and he punches hard and he's a come forward type of fighter. You know what I mean? Pause. You know what I mean? So he comes forward all the time, and with that relentless pressure. He does have, I would say, okay, side to side movement, but he doesn't really possess that lateral movement. He doesn't really possess that. He can move on his feet, and he understands how to roll off the rope. Luis Nares knows some when his back's on the rope, he knows how to roll out. He understands that. But he likes to, if you meet him there, he likes to stay there. But in this situation, that would be a mistake because the Japanese superstar will meet him in the center of the ring or wherever he wants. You see, the problem is there's nowhere to hide in the ring when you're fighting a guy like this. There's nowhere to hide. Fighters, when he come up against them, I notice they're so hurt and they want a minute that if there was a spot where they could just dip off into, they would. But he just he cuts the ring off so well and he understands the angles so well that he doesn't allow his opponent when he's in trouble to think his way out. He's going to make him fight his way out. The Japanese superstar's pressure is going to be relentless, like he speaks of, and he's going to give you an opportunity. In those moments, can Luis Nares, which many fighters in the past tried to, a lot of fighters talked about that the Japanese superstar does give you opportunities, and he's acceptable to that overhand right because when he's coming in, you can catch him. But at the time, being hurt, preserving what you have left, your mind's telling you to survive. You want to stay in the fight. You see the opening, you throw the shot, but you don't give it everything you got. Because if you give it everything you got right there, that might just empty the gas tank. You see, right there in those kind of moments. Because by then, you guys been fighting a few rounds and he has you hurt now. So usually when guys surprise him with that shot, it's that good timing, quick, stiff shot. It's like a pop. And then the Japanese superstar's neck go like this, but it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not like a punch that he's going to throw at the first round when he was nice, strong, and he let it all hang out. Bang! And caught him. Perhaps, I don't think the Japanese superstar is going to dart in at that time. He's really smart. He's really smart. And believe me when I tell you, when he decides to come in, he knows something. He knows something. Your face, your body language is giving him something, and he sees it. He sees it. That's really skilled, because in the fighting game, all of us were watching the fight at home and we're sitting there and we're just yelling, come on, we act like they're robots. Like they're not feeling these punches. They shouldn't be tired. Why is he doing this? Do that, do this. And in the moment, not only are these guys fighting, but they got to keep their mental shit together. Some guys, I'm blowing it. I'm blowing it. Man, he's beating me in front of my family. You know, um, some guys concede. These are things that men and women in this sport will never know what it's like or find out. You can feel like a beast at home. I know guys that have been around. I'm a beast, right? And I've known them 2, 3 years. And one day, unfortunately, we crossed paths, and I took that beast right out of him, right out of him. So you know, look, it's one thing for a fighter to look good in the gym, hitting the bag and everything. I get it. I've seen it all day. It's a different animal to perform under the bright lights and in front of everything else. Coming up, not realizing what's at stake, fighting freely without care or without consequence when you were coming up the division, up the ranking system. You were just freely out there, knocking dudes out. There was nothing on the line, nothing at stake. Your family wasn't telling you, don't fuck this up. If you win this fight, you could change our lives. All that pressure, none of all that comes in later. And then all of a sudden, you're coming out the dressing room, you're looking at the lights, and it all hits you at one time. It's a lot of pressure for some young men. And sometimes people can't perform under the bright lights, and you're only gonna find that out when you get there. Your fighter could have looked good against everyone else. I've seen it. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot. So I feel that the Japanese superstar is a really unique fighter. If he has a lot of fighters in the sport right now talking about him, and he does have a lot of American fighters talking about him, and with very few words, all this came about it. All of this came about a statement that he technically was just talking about one man and one moment. He said it. He said, "Listen, bro, I had him figured out so fast. Yo, that's some elite shit right there." And I believe him. You know why I believe him? Because he showed me. Go back and watch the fight. Did he not do that? Yes. Is that talking shit? No. Those are facts. I talk about this. Um, the difference between an elite fighter, a great fighter, and a good fighter. They are different. And that's what we talk about in the sport of boxing being levels to this. Okay? You see a good fighter, strong, crafty fighter. And a good fighter can have his guy figured out by 6, 7, 8 rounds. He'll have that guy figured out. Then he'll beat him, finish him, and we'll be like, yo, he's a good fighter, right? A great fighter will have his guy figured out between 3 to 5 rounds. A great fighter. Boom, knocked him out in the 6th round. 7th round, he's out. He got him figured out. That's a great fighter right there. Okay. An elite fighter will have his guy figured out in the moment. You do that shit 2 more times, I'm gonna knock your ass out. That's an elite fighter. Elite fighter, if you hit him with a shot, okay, you're not gonna hit him with that same punch again. The rest of the fight, probably. You only got to hit Mayweather with one punch. The people that shocked Mayweather in every fight he's ever been hit, right? When Shane Mosley hit him with that shot, he never hit him with that punch with the rest of the night. When Zab Judah hit him with that shot, he never hit him with that shot the rest of the night. If you haven't, you don't notice that. You only got one shot with these guys. That's how good they are. They figured out your angle, how you did it, and what he did wrong in the moment. An elite fighter. That's the difference. And sometimes people get confused when they're watching fighters and they do what looks like elite shit. And you're like, yo, no, no, he's really good. No, he did some great shit on a below average fighter. That's what he did. Your mind did the rest for you. And you categorized him as an elite fighter. That's what happened. But the real elite fighters, you're not going to do that to. You're not going to hit him with the same shot. Case in point, Donito Donaire hit him with that shot, fractured his orbital bone, didn't hit him with the same shot again. Because had he did, he would have even fractured it more. He protected the eye all night, never landed that shot again. You only got one chance against these type guys. That's an elite fighter. There's the difference. And when it's hard sometimes when I know this, right? And I'm viewing his competition, right? But in the back of my mind, we're all human. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how good he was. There were opportunities. Each legend has had that fight where they've been criticized. Yo, you lost. I'm pretty sure he slid by that one, but he did it. Nevertheless, he did it. Oh, he reigned at the tail end of his career. You didn't beat him. You see, the great thing about boxing, you see, you can cheat in a lot of sports, but boxing is the only sport that it is a single man sport. You can get to that guy. It's even more corrupt in some senses. But the beauty about all of this, no one can stop you from stopping and knocking him out. They can't prevent that. So you always have that chest shot. You see? Not unless both guys are in on it, right? Okay. But realistically, you can knock him out. They can buy the judges, they can buy the ref, they can buy the night. Do your job. You see? So look, I think that boxing still, man, it's the wild wild west, man. But you gotta admit, man, it's the only sport, man, where you can write your own legacy. You can change your stars with one punch, bro. One punch. It's up to you how you land it. You can't be a desperate man out there. You know, people could say it was luck. Like Rotman when he knocked out Lewis against the ropes. The punch heard around the world. You know, uh, but you always have a shot. You always have a shot. And this controversy fight against Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz. A lot of spectators, including myself, man, I was really caught in the moment on that, right? I still feel the same way. I still feel like the guy that got his hand raised, lost the wrong guy got his hand raised, right? Look, I see what Tio is doing all night, you know, but he just wasn't doing enough if this guy was executing his game plan. And that was his style of fighting and you got to admit that when Tio enticed him, he met him. So he was fighting. It had not been for the gash, I believe we would have had a different fight. I would like to see that fight back. That's my opinion on it. Whether or not Teofimo Lopez grants him a fight, it's a smart thing, I believe. Um, because I think next time they will sell out. They did not sell out this time, but I believe if you make that fight the second time, because the people saw, that um it was a competitive fight. Some people wanted it to be more, you know, but you can sell that. You can sell that. You can make your case. Look, I got the cut. Okay, I'm gonna fight up better. But I think this time that now that they met each other as men and they felt each other's powers, the next fight is gonna be better. I believe it would be better, you know. So, yeah. Look, I can't wait for the Japanese superstar Naoya Inoue to enter back into the ring because that's one of my big fights that I've been waiting for. Because I always talk about the sweet science of it all. And when we talk about fighters like that, like Abdullah Madison, yo, that walk-off knockout. Look, he read that guy exactly. The Japanese superstar's quote that he made on Stephen Kubo Fulton and about him is exactly what Abdullah Madison did to that guy. He read that guy. He knew he was in his head. He said he's gonna throw that weak ass jab. There it is. Oh, he laid him out. He laid him. Yo, bro. He said to him, "Yo, there's that weak shit right there." And yeah, yeah, man, yeah. Let me read some of these. I gotta always stay up on this, man. Oh man. Not
Look,
one of those things. He didn't say any of that. Stop it. I liked Abdullah Madison in that fight. He showed a lot of look, if you're in the ring with a guy that you know right away he's not on your level, you want your fighter to take care of him. You don't want your fighter going the complete distance sometimes in certain situations. Now, and the reason why I say that at this point in that kid's career is because he already had over 11 professional fights. When you wanted to see if he can get rounds in, he's already been through those fights. He's past that. When now he's up against this, he's at this point in his career, and this is how I would judge him right now. I would judge different fighters in different situations. I just want to specify that. And the thing is right now that when he's in there with guys like that, and he goes back to the corner, I'm like, Abdullah, he's not on your level. I want you to take care of this guy. These are the moments where you start going, the people start, you do eye catching fights. And that right there, you know, it's candidate for knockout of the year. It's a candidate. It's a good one. I'm not sure if it's gonna hold up, but he laid him right out. And it was a well set up, executed punch, and he was in that guy's head. He definitely was. So yeah. Danny, my man, what's up? How you doing? He said only a few Americans that have that warrior spirit, but not many. Hmm. What's up? All right, my man. How you doing out there? Let me see if this shit works. Put it in. Don't know if it works, but love you guys. So this is what I do it for, right? But tell me if you guys heard that right there, loud and clear, or if you heard it at all, or like real low. You please let me know if that was like in live type bell action. You know what I mean? Please, someone text me back immediately. You know what I mean? Help me out. But yes, um, I saw the text. Are you are you adding something there, Danny? I feel like you're adding like a 2 or 3 words of your own belligerent. You know what I mean? Yo, Monkey Classic, what's baby? Oh shit, I heard it loud and clear. Let's go. Kid. No, you did not hear that loud and clear, my man. No, you did not. I did not do this. Huh? Hold on. Hold on. Stop it. You did not hear that. You're too kind. Stop. Yo, tell me you heard that right there. Stop playing with me right now. Yo, I might have, I might have, I might have done it. Stop playing with your boy. Look, I was gonna pull up the actual because I had it, and I saw it so many times. I was like, yo, what up, Danny, baby? Yeah, you heard it. Okay, but was that the bell when you heard? Did you guys hear the clapping, the cheering? Let me put up some cheering, clapping hands if you heard that. That'd be dope if that came in because I had that in there. Yeah, so I was looking up the actual text that he had said. I read it and saw a lot of reactions to it. So when you're saying that, the way you're saying it, you know, um, it was said that he just said he didn't think that. Yo, you heard that? All right, you didn't hear that clapping. Stop it. Round and applause is fire. Yo, I fucking Yo, my soul just went, ah. You guys have no idea what I've been through here. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm like trying to put this together, sometimes it just gets real frustrating and shit. And like, shit doesn't work. And when it finally freaking works, man, it's just such a relief. So thank you for letting me know you guys hear me good. You hear my effects great. Um, it makes me want to go in there and start working again, but I'm gonna just keep that for a little while, keep everything working the way it is, and let's get some fire episodes going here. You know what I mean? What's up, Ray? What up, baby? Paladine. If Luis Nares somehow by well, look, in this situation about that drug test about Luis Nares, in fact, okay, the you gotta look at the type of steroid he was bagged for. And that particular type of steroid is for weight loss. It gets all the water and fats out of your body fast. That's what that particular steroid was for. It wasn't a sports enhancement steroid where it was like eye to eye coordination or like power, or like like ability. Because there's a PE for like everything. You can get a PE, and I'm telling you guys, trust me when I tell you, you can get a PE for anything you want. You want to last longer? You want to be more focused? You want to be stronger? They got something for your ass, right? So when I looked up the type of steroid Luis Nares got bagged for, and then you look back at the situation, when he was offered the fight against the other Japanese superstar, right? He couldn't make that weight and he knew it. But the opportunity was too great to pass up, you see? And he said to himself, I can beat this guy. Mind you, this guy is undefeated. Like, he's the next best thing. And he has to fight him in his backyard in Japan. These are the pressures that these fighters are under. I'm not saying that it was right. I'm not saying he should have took the fight. I'm saying this is what he chose to do, and now he has to suffer the consequences and be called and labeled a cheater. He knew that before he took that substance, if he was going to get caught. So I have no sympathy for them as in that aspect. I have no sympathy for it that he's a fucking cheater. Okay. But now when it comes to, what he tried to do. So he ends up beating the guy, in fact. Pops dirty. Okay, they run it back. They say no. We want you to fight him back. So he comes back without the drug inside of his body, and he couldn't make weight so bad that he missed weight by 5 pounds. By 5 pounds and lost his belt on the scale, but still went out there and knocked him out. Technically, fighting wise, could beat the dude, but he just couldn't make the weight. And these are the pressures that some of these fighters, that opportunity for him, it was shot at a world title. Would you say no? But I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to condone what he did. Bro, you should have ran further, jumped more rope, swam further. I don't know. He chose this way, the faster way, and he got caught. Yo, my man, thank you. Shout out for the donation. Right there, Danny, my man. What's up, baby? Thank you. Oh, hold up. Now we got facts. Yo, stop it. Thank you for the donation. Round one sports talk, baby. Thank you, baby. You know what I mean? Yo, we put some of these effects to work. You know what I mean? Because and I ain't gonna mess it up because I don't really got which ones are which. Yeah, I'll fuck around and press the wrong one and say the wrong thing, and people like, oh, did it? So let's just slow down. I want breathe. Oh, you know what I mean? That's- I'm psyched up right now. Yeah, I'm psyched up right now. You don't even know. It's like,
Emotional, damn it.
oh, yes, baby. Anyway, let's get it back into two. Naoya said that he what thinks Crawford is pound for pound fighter. Listen, humble as fuck. Tom Brady shit. Very respectable fighters and honorable. These Japanese fighter. Are they fucking saints or angels? No. Pump your brakes. But competition wise, respect to another fighter. He gives respect to another fighter. You see, and it's like when you when you're a fighter, customarily, you're not supposed to say that any other fighter is better or say that you like but when you hear fighters say that, those are men that they know they can talk out loud. They don't question who the fuck they are. They know they can give another fighter a little bit of praise, a little bit of credibility, and not reflect back on like what you doing. Because the man that just said that, look who he is. And when you get a person like that saying something good about you or giving, so you see, it goes to show, right, that in this sport, there has been a lot of misconceptions in this sport. And in fact, I was just talking about my brother, and my brother was saying how many times he's seen some fighters wear Mexican trunks to disrespect the Mexican fighters because Floyd Mayweather started that. And I was like, wait a minute, no, 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 no. No. I can see some people take it that way, but Floyd Mayweather that did that to win over the fans, the Mexican fans. Because I'm not sure if you noticed, the guy that won the fight, his trunks had the Mexican flag. The winner had Mexican flag represented. So when Mayweather's hand was raised, what flag did he have on? How many fighters have shown respect for that and tried to win over a Mexican fans? It's a big population. If you could win those kind of fans too and catch eyes, you can catch some, you know? That's what fighters were doing. And there's a lot of sometimes misconceptions on what he did. Why? Clearly, his uncle was the Mexican assassin. He used to come out with the Mexican hat and disrespect the shit out of Mexicans. What Floyd did was try to flip it. That's what he did. He tried to take a long line family thing, and when he did it, kind of like out of disrespect, he saw what it did for his fan base went up. And when fighters saw that, they was like, you see? And it started becoming a thing. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't think that far into it, but once they saw what came out of it, they were like, "Oh shit!" Look at even Tyson Fury went into rings with Mexican shorts on when he beat the dude with the guy hand getting raised. What trunks did he have on? You know, Canelo Alvarez is a mega superstar because of the fact of that huge Mexican following. Oh, they support fighters. That's a rich culture of boxing. Um, Mexico, they they be kicking them boxers out like left and right. I love their competition because it's always great. You know, um, so like yeah, the Japanese superstar now, you know, everything he says they're gonna compare it to, every little thing now. And from here on in, unfortunately, this is where his career is at. And I talk about that. And if I'm going to talk about him, I talk about him at where he's at in his career and what lies ahead. I believe after the Luis Nares fight, he's going to have a tough time finding really good ring, opponents, some big, big names that are also selling out arenas. That's tough to do. And when you think about the amount of men that can actually do that in today's day and age, where that, a lot of people are not really, the Ryan Garcia fight didn't get sold out neither. The entire top row was empty. So when he tried to do it without the big superstars, he needed Tank Davis to sell out. And Tank Davis is doing it by himself. Fighters like that, Terrence Crawford, Devin Haney, fighters like that, they're doing it at a big level. But the Shakur Stevensons are not really putting up the Teofimo Lopez's. They're not really putting up them kind of numbers. So you got to keep that in mind. Not everybody can do those kind of numbers. Okay. So, but the reason why we go to see these fighters because one, they're either exciting or two, they're doing some really good shit and they're great champions, and that's why these people are supporting them. This guy right here, he enters the 126, and that's when really, I believe a lot of fight fans are going to really start to take notice entering his fifth weight division. I know I say that freely. Um, Listen, currently today in the sport of boxing, how many men have five weight divisions? How many men currently right now have four titles and four separate weight divisions? Anyone out there can answer that for me? Please, I would love to know. And from the last, I'll give you the last 10 years, or I'll even give you 15 years, right? From the last 15 years to today, how many men have had four weight divisions and four real titles in them, entering their fifth weight division right now? I say that so freely. This is entering his fifth weight division. But how many men do you remember have done that? And Manny Pacquiao's old ass don't count. Don't bring him into the conversation. All right. I'm saying like boxers that it came up with the Japanese dude and in his era. I don't think anybody has five weight divisions. Who has five weight divisions? Donito Donaire don't got it. Terrence Crawford don't have it. Canelo Alvarez, he don't got it. Canelo don't got 5 right now, right? I think he's got Canelo got 4. Who's got 5? Oh, maybe. What I'm trying to say is, yo, not a lot of people. Oh, wait a minute, we got some answers here. Emotional, yeah, you heard that shit, yo, my man, yeah, baby. You know, he respects Crawford, but Crawford doesn't respect Naoya Inoue. No, of course it's not gonna go like that for the American side. Unfortunately, you know how rowdy we get. Crawford, but he's molded like that. You can't hate or fault Crawford for that. He's programmed like that. In America, if you give praise and show just a little bit of weakness, they gonna say you on his shit or whatever. And like um, you know how it is. He can't. And he's programmed to think like that. Had he been raised like a Japanese setting and then came out and would always spit on him, then you could say that's real hate. You see? But Crawford speaking the way he was raised around us, he can't give him that. His programming. It's like his brain saying, give him props. No, no, no. It's fucking with his the way he thinks. But Crawford's the type of man to know real shit, and he acknowledges real shit. He acknowledged that Errol Spence Jr. was a real dude, and he acknowledged the other dude was being fake about it. And it wasn't that but he was like, nah, he just feels like he's a genuine dude. What he says, and you know what I mean? He's just genuine. That's it. And he was giving him props about that, but I'm gonna whoop his ass, you know. But look at that's how we are. You know, that's why Brady was real unique. Brady's out there like, hey Brady, you just beat everybody's ass. You're the best quarterbacks. No, oh shucks. No, no, listen. There's room for improvement for everyone. I'm not the best while holding another trophy. I'm not the best. There's, you can have your opinion. And he was killing them with kindness. He knew how to do his job. He knew that talking shit, what was that doing? That didn't do anything. Talk was cheap. Practicing, performing, practicing your craft. Now that's where, you get awarded such awards, right? They understand. The fuck me talking to you in a mic over a video do to you? That ain't doing nothing. You want some of this? Cross that line. Cross that line. See if I don't give you what you came for. You know? Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia can go on social media and push each other around, and Bill Haney can start. Did you see the reaction with Devin Haney and the bodyguard? Devin Haney hit his hand down and he was like staring up at him, like, "Yo, you know who I am, bro? I gotta remind you, but that's a big dude right there. That might not matter all those skills, you know. Um, they can go on and do all that and cause all those scenes. The difference between the Japanese superstar and them, he doesn't have to do that. You're not gonna see him on social media doing that shit, pulling those kind of antics. Look at us. Look at the Americans. Look how we are on full display. He doesn't have to do any of that shit. You know how he got your attention? Knocking motherfuckers out. Donate, my man. What's up, baby? Let's hit him with the thank you. Shout out, hello, Ninja. What? Thank you, baby, for the. Ah, yeah, man. He doesn't. He doesn't have to do any of these cheap ploys, gimmicks, go on. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing the 140-pound American champion make a fool of himself on social media, knowing that they're not going to put hands on each other because they're professional registered athletes. There will be lawsuits everywhere and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And you're putting your family in jeopardy. You got your dad out there. Like, what? You got your little brothers out there. And this is what, like, Mary, we don't give a fuck, bro. We get it popping wherever, whoever. Your grandma can be standing right there. She can get it too. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we crazy. We are crazy. You know what I mean? Shouts out to you. Thank you for the donation with the 5 spot, baby. Yeah, man. And unfortunately that's is, you know. So, but this guy right here, man, he's really setting an example for young fighters. And I like how Abdullah Mason so far is carrying himself. I hope he doesn't start to veer to the left. His next fight, we see him, he's got all this bling bling on. I have a feeling it's just going to happen. It's a matter of time because this is what we keep and we pass down to the next fighters. That if you want to hang around with the celebrities and the stars, that you start knocking people out. That's what you got into boxing for? You mean you gave away all those years of your life and you won all those fights just to get starstruck and can't say no to hang out with these people? Boxing is truly a lonely man's sport. You shouldn't have time for that. In fact, the window is about a 10-15 year span, usually around the age of 19 to 35. That's it. After 35, you're still young as fuck in like life years. You might think you're old because I know what it was like to be that age, right? And you think 35 is like ancient. I'm here to tell you that's not even the beginning of your life, right? So after 35, you're going to have all this money. You're going to be this kind of champion. You can go hang with the stars then. But if you're a real fighter and real disciplined to your craft, you'll say no to that shit, right? But us Americans, we're teaching our fighters, no, you need to ball out. You need to here put this on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wear these right here. You know, it's like you're you're not passing down. Stay disciplined. Be focused. Say no. Strive for excellence. Push for greatness. I know in some circles they are pushing these messages to these kids, but what do they see? What's mostly broadcasted to them, you know? And fighters like Mayweather messed that up because he was selling an image. And I've always talked about this. You go watch Mayweather when he's with his family. No change, bro. No bling bling. None of that, bro. He's a total different person. You see Mayweather promoting a fight, leading into a fight, or has something to do with the fight. All chains come out. The shit talking starts. Wow, what a coincidence. He knew this. He knew this, you know. And this guy right here, what makes him so much better than a lot of these guys is that I pay attention to shit like this. This guy right here doesn't do none of that shit. Much smaller guy, and he's got the world talking about him. Why? For only one reason: his skill. He is as true to the game and to boxing and is more his purest form than is ever going to get. That's why I like him so much. When I talk about boxing and how I view it, what it needs to be truly represented like, it's not the loudest dog in the yard. It's not the one with the most bling bling, or the one that looks the prettiest, or the one with the cut abs, or looks like an Adonis. It's none of that. That doesn't make you the best. At its most purest form, these are the guys that represent that. Guys like this, Terrence Crawford, and excuse me, fighter like the young Abdullah Madison and hopefully Keyshawn Davis and Xander Zion, fighters develop that kind of mindset. where that they even get better throughout their careers and avoid some of these pitfalls that some of these past fighters have fallen into, the lamplight. And that can take our fighters out. And we never get them to see them develop into the fighter we believe they should become, you know? Yo, people, can we get the likes up here, please? If you like the show, please, can you just take your time out and press a little bit of likes? Thank you. Yeah, man. And uh look, we have to really like start to show and pass down to our guys that and then stir that into them. That's not, it is one part advertisement, but as you can see, there's other ways of advertising yourself, and it works. For God's sake, this guy doesn't even speak English, and look how far he's going. And speaking of which, what's impressive about fighters like that, right? That are really trying to make the transition over, and they know what they have to do to become marketable here in America. Such a fighter like a Subriel Matias. He was on social media. Did you hear him with his English? He said, Ryan Pussy. Right. Which I don't know which one he said it to, right? He said Roly, Joker, and the world know it. Right? Yo, my man is learning English. That is very impressive because he's developing himself all around. He knows one part of fighting and boxing is promoting. He has to accept the status of being an athlete, a professional athlete. And he's not just focusing on one part of it, just the fighting. And I like that. I like that a lot because it shows that listen, he's gonna if you want him to learn the language, if that's what you need him to do, so that you can hear exactly what he's saying, I will kick your ass, right? So, and that's what I like. But more than that, what I like is what he's doing inside of the ring. You know, the other day the guy tells me, "Oh, so Beto Matias, he's not considered a great Puerto Rican fighter." And I said, "Define great." He killed a man in the ring. And I don't mean to use that, but it's a fact. Define great. Like, this dude, like, that's crazy, right? So he's not a great Puerto Rican fighter. Like, he's gonna have to achieve some shit. He started his career late. I understand that, right? Let's see where this goes. As far as Devin Haney's next fight, I guess they announced it to the world by that little skirmish that they did. I don't know what the fuck that was, because that's not how in my hood. That's not how you handle that. There would have been no back and forth. I would have slid off and caught him at the end of the hallway by the low. And them three dudes that was with him, my three guys would have asked them to step to the side. I smacked fire out his ass. That's how I would have did it. But anyway, I'm not gonna promote violence. And look, um, I'm just saying that shit is like TV, bro. It really is. And it's a damn shame that we doing that to get them to get the fight. So um I'm ready. I'm ready for the next fights. I'm ready for the next card. I'm over this decision with Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz. It is what it is. Um, hey, I'm looking for the next fights and who's gonna come in. Supernova right now. Foster. Like I expressed my who I got in that fight. Maybe Nova can surprise us. Who knows? He looks strong every time, doesn't he? He looks strong. But at some point in the fight, he breaks. I saw him break in that fight with that Cuban guy. He broke. And that's my honest assessment. He felt like he couldn't win. And he was just doing enough to stay in the fight. So when you could break a man's will like that, he accepted that the Cuban dude was better than him, that he was faster than him. Fighters going into the fight already should know, I don't care if you're faster than me. I don't care if you're stronger than me. My job is to take that element away from you and apply my shit. Figure it out, bro. Those what make great fighters. From being a great fighter, you turn into an elite fighter. There's levels to this, and you're gonna be tested throughout your career. What are you made of? You see? And when I saw that from Nova, I was like, he can be broken. So that always comes into his fights until I see him bite down on the mouthpiece, not concede in the fight, give it his all. You can lose a fight and give it your all, but your body language is telling me different. That guy turned you off from your senses, and that's why you're no longer fighting. This guy conceded. He's backing up. He's just doing enough. He's not believing in his punch. He's tired now. He's worked himself into that point in the fight. He broke him. He broke him. So I was like, and when you can get broke like that, you gotta show me that. You see, so at least if you're gonna knock B Foster, right? You're gonna have to knock him out. Not knocked out, So but on any given fight, both of these men are not here by coincidence, and both of those men have great chances. They both have a puncher's chance. My opinion, I believe that Foster will is the more lengthier of the two fighters, and I believe he has enough to secure the W. That's my opinion on that. As far as yeah, look, what can we say? The questions keep coming up. You know, um, they're trying to feed you the narrative that the Japanese superstar was being disrespectful to American fighters, period. They're going to start to try to build him into the monster. They're going to use these gimmicks, and you're going to hear a lot of these things being said throughout his fights leading into fights. I'm here on Round One Sports Talk. I'm already warning you if because of what lies ahead, preparing you for what lies ahead, because you're gonna hear a lot of this shit, and some of this shit is gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna have some fans believing in it. You know, look, look what happened when they released a rumor saying that his hands were wrapped in cast-like substance. Leading into that fight, no one's ever heard anything like that, right? And all of a sudden, that's why he was winning. That's what I'm talking about. Those kind of situations, those kind of rumors, those kind of accusations, they're all going to start coming out of the woodwork now on this guy. It's going to be everything but his skills. Tom Brady-ish. When they said Tom Brady whooped up on them Colts, right? Oh, yeah, I would think it was the Colts, right? They said it was a deflated football. It was everything but his skills. In fact, in the second half, when they redid the footballs the right, because he played in the first half like that, in the second half, with the balls the way they wanted him, he was even more accurate and he scored more and he did more damage than he did on the first half, where they were making the actual accusation. It was everything else but his skills. With the ball the way he had it, he was better in the second half. By stats, he was actually better, right? It's going to be everything for this guy. It's going to be his hand wraps. It's going to be his steroid testing. It's going to be, I don't know, that he's Japanese and because his eyes are like this, he's got super sight vision. They're going to make something up. They're going to say whatever, but it's going to be everything else but that he's that good. I'm just preparing you. And we're going to be going back and forth on this. I guarantee it, mark my words. Because look what they're already doing with just a small margin of a window. and we could break it down. I can read you his quote word for word. Okay. And it wasn't the way they're saying it. It's not a secret what he said. You can look it up word for word. You know, I thought I could just pull it up right here. I'm gonna have to go right to the freaking website. But anyway, yeah, I'll go there. Man, I can't find it right now on the website, but yeah. So basically, what he said was, um, he he didn't he saw he knew everything Stephen Kubo Fulton was gonna do before he did it, right? And that he already knew it, right? So that's talking about a fighter's ring IQ. That's expressing his version of how he was visualizing the fight. That's how much of a step and levels that he was above Stephen Kubo Fulton. That's what that means. And it was true. Was it not true? Okay. And then what he said was he's not sure, right? That he said Stephen Kubo Fulton doesn't like getting hit in the face. And he's not sure if all Americans are like this. Word for word what he said. So that's an opinion statement. He's making his assumption based off Stephen Kubo Fulton. And he's asking the question, are you like this? Or it was just this guy? Then he said, many other American fighters might not be like this. And that Terrence Crawford, in fact, is a great champion. Really. So him giving praises to Terrence Crawford and saying, yo, you know what? I agree. You're pound for pound best. Hats off to you. See, he's not about titles or what title you want to give him by name title, by word, by definition. He's not impressed by that. Okay, opinion wise, you want to say humbly, you're the best. I have a fight over here. I need to fight for 4 belts. Excuse me. I'll be right back. I'm doing big shit over here. Yeah, yeah. You're number one. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm creating history. What more can you ask for? So that's what I mean about this Japanese dude. Yo, he's so sharp in a lot of different avenues in this spot and boxing game. He's sharp in the fact that he's not allured by the lamplight. He's not out there getting drunk, smacking his wife. He's not out there bling blinging it up. He's not, he's not falling for a lot of these things. He's giving praises to other fighters, understand, and also keeping it confident about himself. He's letting his hands speak for his work and for every performance he does in the ring. He's being judged and merit by his knockouts, and he's being questioned by moments in a round, in particular rounds, to break down his career. An elite fighter or what? You mean to tell me you're actually judging him on particular situations in one particular round? You're not ever telling me he was losing this fight up until this point. Then he came back. No, that's not his story. You would have to find tune, watch his fights, and say, he got hit with one shot right there. You see, he can get hit. He's in a fight. Wow, how petty do people have to get? No, he's just actually really that good. And he's dispersing his competition. He can only fight the people that are in his division. He can only fight the people that have the title. He can't fight two of them at the same time. I probably, if he could, he would to impress you. Back to back, two champions, back to back, or something, right? But that's just the honest truth. Those are just facts. If he doesn't have a Mike Tyson in his fucking division, or Terrence Crawford is not actually in his division, is that his fault? Is that his fault that God made him that size? It's not his fault, man. He can only do what he can do. And respectfully, he is dispatching champion after champion, title after title, and he's in the pursuit of his fifth weight division headed into the 126. And when he gets there, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And who's going to be there at the 126? Because as you can see, some belts are starting to exchange hands, and there are new fighters that are starting to make their way up the ladder, and they're starting to make noise. So, depending on who's there at the, I would say, the middle part of this year, um, well, I think it might be maybe around, I want to say August, September. If maybe he can squeeze another fight in between there, maybe it will be a little later. But the Japanese superstar has been having a tendency now of showing quick turnarounds. I've been noticing that. I mean, for God's sake, he shot that back with Tapales in 6 months. He went like, he told his wife, yeah, we'll celebrate off the vacation. Up, pack the bags. We got to go back to the gym. Up, I'm back training. Like, yo, he probably took his wife on I talk about this. He took his wife to a vacation, a boxing resort. Oh, honey, I thought you would love it. It's a fucking boxing resort. He's like, baby, look, you punch the bag for fun. They give you points, while he can train, trying to bring the family in on it. Like, yo, he's that type of fighter. Like, like a Tom Brady type dude. He's on vacation Cancun with his wife. His wife looks to the side. He's out there with elastic bands and some other guys throwing footballs. Like, he ain't calming down, you know. And that's great, man. That's great because he understands that you have only so many days in your career, in this kind of career. He understands that, man. He understands that, you know, once it's over, it's over. That this is not something that you can do forever. And you're only going to be in the front of those. A lot of fighters have a tough time walking away from those lights. Look at this guy. He's fucking trying to push old ass Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao 2 type shit. They're gonna be out there in strollers and walkers. Come on, Manny. I'm gonna give it to you now. Fucking Floyd, I'm gonna beat you. You know what I mean? You listen. Like fighters have a tough time walking away from that because the window is so small. You blink your eye, your career is over. And some of these guys, Jax, and some of these guys like need to understand that you're playing with the best years of your life. You don't have time to be partying. So, it's good when fighters like this can start to waking up some of the younger fighters out there and lead by example. And the measuring stick that he's setting, they're realizing that's not easy to do. And what it would actually take to do what he's doing right now. Because just winning one world title is hard enough. Just one. You're going to find all four, vacating them. You'll find all four again, perhaps vacating them and going to another. He's on pace of doing historical shit. you know? So when fighters are viewing his career and what he's doing, they have to admit that's fucking hard. What he's doing is no joke. They can talk about him all he want. Oh, he's little. Oh, he's this, he's that. They can say whatever they want, but in the back of their mind, they know the sport. They know how hard they have to work in the gym. They know how good they are right now, and in comparison to what he looks like. And they're like, shit. Stephen Kubo Fulton in that round found out what an elite fighter truly is. He was shocked. He kept his composure, but he knew, damn, there's levels to this. He's on a different level. Stephen Kubo Fulton took a lot out of that fight against the Japanese superstar, and he found out, wow, leading into that fight, there was no way on God's green earth you can't tell me that Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't think that he was the shit. And why wouldn't he? Nobody beat him. He had some competitive fights with Brandon Figueroa, and he had some other warriors that he fought. But what in his brain would tell him, as far as he's concerned, I've been in the ring with the likes of him. Like, I'm the best. And it must have been a real eye opener and a shocking experience to really say, wow, this is different. Man, this whole time I was told and I was led to believe, and I thought I was levels above everyone else. This guy is on a different level. And it was a hard pill to swallow in the moment. And Stephen Kubo Fulton knew he was outgunned and outclassed. See, Marlon Tapales came into the fight. He already knew he was outgunned and outclassed. Marlon Tapales said, I need to out outlast him. Work my way into the inside. Not technically bully him, but show him that he can't hurt me and try to sneak my shots in and make my shots count. See, Marlon Tapales never came into that fight thinking he was better than Naoya Inoue skill for skill. He said he believes he was better as a fighter. Yes, that way. Not skill for skill. He said, I have a different kind of skill and I'm going to put it up against yours and I think I can be successful. See, that's a different way of looking at shit. The way Stevie Kubo Fulton was looking at it was, nah, he's too little. I'll beat the shit out this dude. He's coming up to my division. I got the belts here. How dare he? I'm way better than this dude. My jab's way faster than his. That was a different mindset. He got humbled. That's a different ass whooping. Stephen Kubo Fulton took a different ass whooping than Marlon Tapales. Marlon Tapales, he fought his heart out. He tried, man. He tried. And he wanted to win. It's heartbreaking losing. He really wanted to win that fight. He gave it his all. He left everything out there. That's Marlon Tapales. Stephen Kubo Fulton, he got humbled. It's a difference. You see? And now they're going to try to take this man's words and they're going to try to flip him and they're going to paint him as the monster. They're going to use everything they can, from hand wrap accusations to steroid assumptions, to him not fighting outside of Vegas, Japan. Why doesn't he come to Vegas? You know, the Saudis are throwing around all this money at him, and there's a lot of opportunity here. But they're already going to start to attack him on social media for this one little statement he made that wasn't really shit. It wasn't at all. It wasn't. It was an observation from a fighter. That's merely what it was. That's all. But they're gonna try to listen. He's got a target on him. They want to stop him. Can't blame him. Can't blame him. You know, a lot of these legends like being in the room at the party saying, Those are my records up there. Yeah, no one's broke them yet. Hey, in the next fight, this guy's gonna break your record. What? What the? Yo, he ain't gonna be able to say that no more because somebody's gonna take his place, and that's when shit's gonna get real. You know. So yeah, man. Listen, what do you guys think, man, about this statement? Did did, did you guys start to like be honest? Already start to buy into the fact, like, oh shit, you talking shit about American fighters, and this. Did you already get lured into an argument already? Did you? Right? Or did you not see just a boxer making an observation? What it was? Did you allow them to get you to argue already? He ain't said nothing there. They're reaching. They're reaching. And they're gonna reach. And I'm telling you, all these things are gonna start being popped up and said about him. Because some of these men are guys behind the scenes are gonna pay people to say these things. They need to. They need to stop his credibility somehow. You know, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. But the one thing I love, they can't stop him with his skills. You're gonna have to stop him. You're gonna have to beat him. And the way he's beating these men now, tough assignment. That's a tough assignment. That's a tough one, man. And as you can see when he's fighting against his competitors, when you put a tough, durable guy on him, he breaks them down. When you put a technician boxer against him, he out technicians them. He beats you at your own style. It was crazy that, and I said it leading into the fight. I said, watch him beat Stephen Kubo Fulton with his own feeling shell, and that's exactly what he did. It was impressive. And it must be frightening when this is your style and he's doing it better than you in front of you. Like this is what you were gonna use against him. And all of a sudden he switches it up right in front of you. And he starts going. And all of a sudden you're trying to hit him and he's like, man, you're not even touching me, bro. I'm using your shit on you. And you ain't doing nothing to me. Here, let me show you how it's done. He moved in on him. It was crazy to watch. I was just like, because leading into that fight, even they even had me a little nervous. The back and forth, that the fact that he never sparred against a black American fighter, that the American slick style. And listen, I believe in the American slick style. I'll put that style up against any style in the world. And when it's performed at its best, it's a very dominant style. We do not have the most belts or like year round because we're fucking bums. We're at the top of the food game when it comes into the sport of boxing. So let's just keep that funky, right? So that American slick style, when perfected and in its own unique ways, as you can see, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, the Tank Davises, the Devin Haney's, and the list goes on. The Jerron Boots Ennises, you know, it shows that we have a very dominant style. So, you know, look, his his type of style, the Japanese superstar, it caters to the boxing style. It does. When you talk about boxing and the way it looked, the way it's supposed to flow, and how slick it is, the way he punched Jason Maloney in transition in a punch, that's some slick high level shit. The way he targets the body and he systematically is breaking these guys on the level that he's doing it. And if I didn't know anything about the guys he was fighting, because when they try to say like fighters like Donaire is old and Paul Butler and all that, unfortunately, I saw Paul Butler fight. And I was like, wait a minute, is that the same Paul Butler? And I was like, in fact, it is. Yo, that dude is a tough dude. He's got one hand pound pop, knockout power. Paul Butler. He's not no bum. He ain't no tomato can by you know, and it shows in the level of his competition because even in defeat, some of the men went on to become world champions. That shows in their level, his level of the guys he's fighting, because them guys, that's saying, had it not been for you, the best fighter in the planet, I would still be champion because there's nobody else that's beating me. He was just walking through their division, beat them up, took their belts, gave it back, and then the guys that were champion went and got their belts back. It's basically what happened. So his guys are they real champions. I pay attention to shit like that because it shows. You know, his style does cater to boxing. I love his style. But the reason why I bring up his style is to remind you that elite fighters do not always have to look the same. Terence Crawford his fighting style does not look like the Japanese superstar's fighting style, but make no mistake, he is an elite fighter. Terence Crawford might take damage in a fight. He might bait you or lure you. When he was a lot younger, I understand. I haven't seen him do it as much now when he started hitting like 33, 34, 35. But he can fluidly switch from lefty to righty. One time I was watching him fight in a fight, and I'm watching him fight, and he did it so nice that I didn't even know he was in the left stand. It didn't even hit on me until the announcer said something. And I was like, holy shit, he's in the fucking lefty. So I'm watching him and I'm watching him, and I'm trying to pay attention to him. He's his fluid. That's people. You're not supposed to be able to do that like that, because what happens to a fighter that a lot of people doesn't you don't realize in a fight. Here's something you can take away. I'll give away to you, right? Check it out, right? Most fighters can't fight to their opposite side. If you're ever in a fight and the fighter's right-handed, take away his ability to go to the right and make him go to the other way. He won't be able to fight going the other way. He doesn't train going the other way. Try to do it right now. Like even standing there, go the other way and try to fight your other way. Your brain is not telling you that that's the way you throw punches. Your brain is telling you you go from here to here to here, not this way. You see? So you make the guy go the opposite way, he's not going to be as fluent, and the opportunities in the windows are going to be greater. Just make him go the other way. That's it. Those are keys that you can pick up on if the guy's training that way. And most people on the street are not trained or built like that. Make him go that way. He's going to look awkward. He's not going to know how to move on you, and you're going to be better. Shift him, bam, bam, that way. See? Right? So when Terence Crawford was doing that, and he can fight like that, that was really a unique skill that a lot of men, he had that on most men, that ability. Make him work the side he doesn't usually train for, and take that one side away from him, you know? And that was a real that's why I say that elite fighters don't always look the same. They don't. But make no mistake, they are elite fighters. Well, fight fans, listen, I chopped it up with you guys. I'm gonna go get something to eat. It's always been a pleasure here at Round One Sports Talk, talking with all of you guys. Hold on one second. Let me just all right, let me answer your question, your text. Caldine, but deep down, Crawford knows Naoya Inoue is a real deal. Yeah, he does. But publicly, he's American bred. He's not going to admit that. And it's not because of his own validity, it's because that would be fighting against his teachings, what the hard streets taught him, what it was like in high school on the wrestling team, where he learned throughout competition. You can't give another dude, not in America. We're not built like that. In Japan, they were more respectable, humble, but dangerous. I can go from 0 to 100. A Japanese, they meditate to some shit like that, where that they didn't have to show you real disrespect. But if you cross disrespect, homeboy, you're not walking out this room until we figure this out on that shit, because you're not going to disrespect them. You know, um, it's just a different culture bringing up race. That Terrence Crawford's first response, whether it's the real one, it's what he was really trained to think like. And he's going to say the first thing off the top of his mind. When he's driving home, he's probably like, yo, that dude is fucking good. He's probably sitting at home watching a tape, or watching did I say a tape really? Well, a take. Yeah, clean that up. Show my age there. Anyway, he's watching them on YouTube or something, and he's got to admit, he's like, man, that Japanese dude is good. But you get him with a mic first. Fuck that dude, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm way better than him. Who the fuck is that guy? American style, you know what I mean? But listen, fight fans, love you guys. You guys are always the best. Here at Round One Sports Talk, I want to thank everyone that tuned in today for the episode. Listen, on my way out, I really wanted to drop some hot tracks, right? But I cannot locate them. Oh, no, 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 no. I took those off and I was replacing it with other stuff. Yeah, I was. But we know this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in. And it's my pleasure as being your host here at Round One Sports. I'm off this one. On to the next one. After this one, here on Round One Sports Talk TV. It's been my pleasure. Thank you. Damn, I might have said that once too many. But I'm psyched today. Everything is working. God is great, man. He is great. He is wonderful, man. This is beautiful right now. Thank you.